Let's have a look at their team first of all. They have Richard Schneekers suspended after his sending off against Everton, so the availability of Sasa Surchik is well timed. He arrived on Friday, trained on Saturday and plays tonight in the hope that they've finally found Jason McAteer's replacement. And in looking for the width that they lost in their League Cup tie against Leicester, Bolton bring back David Lee for Mark Patterson, who's one of 3 outfield substitutes. Trevor.
Yes, Bolton have found it very difficult in the return to the Premiership. I think the biggest problem has been defensively. They've conceded 22 goals, only Wimbledon have conceded more. So big responsibility tonight on the goalkeeper, McAnespie, Fairclough, Bergson and Phillips, and Stubbs, who will play in front of the back 4, thus allowing Surchik to move forward. Apparently they'd liken him to McAteer. One of you play like him, and on the wings, Lee and Thompson, they'll be joining when possible the 2 front players, Patalainen and McGinley.
Well, from the Arsenal point of view, David Platt has had a couple of outings with the reserves, but he still hasn't played a full match. He appeared against West Ham United and he appeared against the Thailand national touring team, but he won't be playing tonight. He's on the bench. Ray Parlour, who's overcome a knee problem, comes back in place of John Jensen in the sole change to the side that won in the Cup at Barnsley.
Very experienced Arsenal lineup. Only Parlour has not been recognised with a full international cap. The back 4 is mean as ever, the best at the moment in the Premiership, only conceded 5 goals. The 2 central midfield players, Keown and Parlour, will defend doggedly in there, allowing the 2 wide players, Helder and Merson, to push forward. But it's up front where they're really playing well. In the last 4 or 5 games, Bergkamp and Wright have steadily been improving. Both of them have scored goals, I think something like 17 between them already this season. They present a formidable partnership.
Well, in the build-up to the match, we saw some of the flair that have been provided by Bergkamp and Wright this season. Sort of flair that maybe those Bolton fans will be hoping won't be too much on display tonight. But really, as the Arsenal fans will appreciate, their success this season has once again been founded on the defence that proved so effective when they won their last League Championship 4 years ago. And indeed, their record at this stage of the season is the same as it was at that stage of that season, in that they've let in only 5 goals in the league.
Yes, I think what is important, Rob, is the fact that they've played together now for so long. As I said this now, very, very experienced. All 5 of them, if you include the goalkeeper, are full England internationals. And I think that in Adams, they've got the outstanding defender in the Premiership. And of course, I mentioned you up front, I think Bergkamp is gradually getting better and better.
Not quite a capacity crowd at Burnden Park tonight. The Arsenal allocation just slightly undersold. But Burnden Park is 100 years old this year. It's a ground that holds a tremendous atmosphere. But on his return here, even Bruce Rioch recognises that it will be the move that is planned that will really make Bolton into the big club that they've been threatening to be. They've got permission to have standing room here until August 1996, and they'll hope that they might even get an extension to that if the move to the new stadium is delayed. Sounds a great new site they've got, 40 acres in a 200-acre site, quite near to Burnden Park already, and with good motorway and rail links. So they'll be swapping the tradition of Burnden Park, the tradition that these Arsenal players are sampling now. Tony Adams, little word there with tonight's match official, Keith Cooper, as he leads out an Arsenal side that Adams himself well knows is already being talked about in terms of winning the championship, even though Bruce Rioch, on taking over, would probably have been making noises about this being a transitional season.
Yes, probably still short of 1 or 2 players, but if they win tonight, of course, they go into 3rd position. They're in a very, very threatening position, and as you can see in the tunnel, they're certainly full of confidence. And I can understand that. In the recent games, they've been scoring, haven't conceded goals, and that's a good recipe for success.
And Alan Stubbs back as Bolton captain leads his team out. Wherever they go, Arsenal draw in the crowds and bring a sense of excitement with them. But for Bruce Rioch's return, there's the added spice for this evening's game. It's Bolton against Arsenal next.
Burnden Park to join our commentary team this evening, Trevor Francis and Rob Hawthorne.
And a very warm reception for Bruce Rioch on his return as Keith Cooper, the man in the middle, prepares to get the match underway. It's 144 days since Bruce Rioch left Burnden Park to take up the challenge of reviving Arsenal's fortunes. It's his first match back here, though he has visited the ground since. And he was accorded a very warm reception by Bolton fans who clearly appreciate the excellent work he put in 3 years in charge at the club. But he's been keen to deflect attention from his return as Bergkamp sets right away and the flag stays down. An early opening for Arsenal, and the shot lashed straight across the goal from Ian Wright. But within the first half minute, a little dash of flair from Arsenal to give Bolton a warning sign.
Well, total confusion in the Bolton defence, and Bergkamp quickly reacted, played right in, possibly offside, but the linesman wasn't quite up with play. This is a good chance for Wright, but as you can see, drags his shot past the far post. In fact, you can actually see Wright looking to the linesman because he thinks he's offside.
Good positive start then by Rioch's new side against his old charges. Wright, the man who caused the alarm. Here's Lee. First touch for the new man, Serchik. And this is Thompson. Header away by Adams. Dixon under real pressure. Phillips. And Parlour, the man covering. Keown. Here's Parlour. Helder just tucked in a little. Winterburn wide of him. Helder wants to take it alone. And McAnespie covered against him.
It's a real positive start by both teams. We thought that Bolton would adopt an adventurous approach. And so that with a team formation, Lee and Thompson in wide areas. There's a good cross from Thompson. He's got an excellent left foot.
Stumbled by McAnespie, and now Helder, who can't create problems running at defenders, looking to set Bergkamp away. Bergson initially had it covered. Bergkamp, though, never gives up, tackling back, winning it as well. And Serchik puts it away for a throw-in. There's the new man, making his debut tonight. McGinley. Tackle from Keown. Here's Serchik. Catalanen's layoff rescued by McGinley. Parlour. Helder. Bergkamp. And Merson it is who's made the run. And Thompson coming back with him there. Disallowed Merson from getting a clean strike at that. McGinley. Here's Serchik. Thompson. Bolton's player of the year last season, Alan Thompson, looking for the run of Phillips. And it's overhit for the defender who was up there supporting.
And that was the second good chance for Arsenal. On both occasions, Dennis Bergkamp has been heavily involved. I really felt the Stubbs would play in the area to try and stop the ball getting to Bergkamp, but he played a good ball through to Merson. There's only Thompson backtracking, as any good wide player should do. It prevented Merson from getting a clean strike at goal.
Still 0-0, but two good early openings for the visiting team. Challenging with Chris Fairclough. Here's Thompson. Stubbs. Adams up there with Katalainen. This is Helder. And free kick given. And quickly taken by Helder. Good thinking, this is Wright. Bergkamp was down the centre. This is Merson. Wright and Bergkamp are both waiting. And Bergson in the way. Parlour putting Stubbs under pressure. Composed play from Alan Stubbs until he gives possession away to Dixon. This is Keogh. Wright hustled off the ball by Gudni Bergson. And this is Lee. McGinley offered himself. Still Lee. Thompson. Three waiting in the middle as Dixon blocks the cross. And Bolton win the first corner of the match. Exciting stuff from David Lee, who came on as a substitute against Leicester in the 0-0 League Cup draw and immediately livened things up. Bergson going forward for the corner. Thompson taking it. Fairclough waiting near post. McGinley right in front of the goalkeeper. Stubbs. And the shot struck by David Lee. Wide of the mark.
This is quite clear what Bolton's policy is, to try and get the ball as quickly as they can to Thompson. On the two occasions he's got to him, he's wasted no time. He's quickly put the ball in with his left foot, trying to cause one or two problems in the Arsenal defence. And that's what Patalina and McGinley will welcome, the early ball.
Playing with Lee on the right and Thompson on the left. Bolton hoping to give Winterburn and Dixon a few headaches. Here's Lee. McGinley. Away from Adams, and Keogh eventually stood up to the shot. Helder wins the throw. An exciting player in full flight, David Lee. Not the most consistent player, but he's been in the top division before from his time with Southampton.
Yes, and he may get a bit of freedom tonight, because normally the left-sided midfield player who's playing against him is expected to track back. But on a couple of occasions I've watched Glenn Helder, he doesn't particularly relish that. He likes to play further forward as a front player. So there'll be occasions tonight when David Lee will just be up against Nigel Winterburn in a one-against-one situation.
Dixon beaten to the ball by Serchik, and Stubbs now spreads it to Thompson. Phillips. Just wide of McGinley. Wright's lay off to Helder. Bergkamp moves on ahead. It's behind Fairclough. Bergkamp awaiting Wright's advance into the penalty area, pulls it back instead too strongly for Helder. And Stubbs clears accurately. Great distributor of the ball, Alan Stubbs, and finds McGinley so accurately. This is Lee. Thought he'd been fouled by Winterburn, but referee Cooper unimpressed by those appeals. Helder. Espi's won the throw. Lee. Cover by Bold. Lee Dixon. And Wright this time is offside.
And every time Arsenal come forward, they look very threatening. They've only been playing 9 minutes. Already they've got in 3 times behind the Bolton defence. I imagine for Roy McFarlane and Colin Todd, that's very, very worrying. As I said before, they've already conceded some 22 goals this season. That's a lot of goals to concede in 10 games. And you can see why, with the early sort of moments where Bergkamp and then Merson have got in on a couple of occasions.
Bolton's defensive record is in fact worse than Manchester City's, despite their 6-0 defeat at Liverpool at the weekend. But it's not the worst in the Premiership, that dubious record held by Wimbledon. Serchik looking positive before Parlour ended that little run. Here's Bergkamp. Wright's layoff a little sloppy for Merson, and Lee in there first. Arsenal were pushing up then, but McGinley has stayed onside, so too has Patalainen, as Adams clears, only to McInnesby. Too long and too high, even for a man of Patalainen's height, at 6 feet tall. Bruce Rioch, who had a tremendous record at Burnden Park, succeeded Phil Neal in May 1992. 2 promotions he won in that period, and some tremendous results in the FA Cup, including a victory over Arsenal at Highbury, after the teams had drawn 2-2 here at Burnden Park.
Just a word about the way Arsenal are playing. We really expected for Dennis Bergkamp to play just off Ian Wright, but they're actually playing with Bergkamp right up front with Wright. And I think perhaps that's one of the reasons, why Dennis Bergkamp has been scoring more frequently as of late. I think it's something like 6 goals in his last 6 games, whereas before, the early part of the season, he was dropping very, very deep. He's now playing right up there on the shoulders of defenders.
And the flag stays down, and Wright has again sprung the offside trap. 2 waiting, Bergkamp's one of them, and he couldn't get any direction on the efforts. Helder was herring in there as well, but it seemed teed up there for Bergkamp by Wright.
Once again, it's too easy for Arsenal. They're getting in whenever they want. Here you see him, Wright. He's looking for the run of Bergkamp. He waits, he holds it. In comes Bergkamp. Well, he doesn't go in with much conviction, does he? The keeper, Brannigan's come for it, can't get there. That's a great chance, that, for Bergkamp. He leads with his left foot, perhaps it should have been with his right, but that's a good goal-scoring opportunity.
Perhaps it looked too easy and it was a little too casual there, Dennis Bergkamp. But Wright is certainly having some success in pulling wide on the right and springing Bolton's intended offside. And Brannigan. Wright wasn't close enough to take advantage of that little stumble. Fairclough. Stubbs. 5th game he's played in this new midfield role. Bold. Merson. Helder's gone back out wide. Helder. And a clearance by Stubbs. Now here's Lee. 3 Bolton players up against 3 Arsenal defenders. They were looking for the offside. Adams is the man with his arm raised, and the linesman duly obliges.
Well, that was clever play from Adams. He realised that Arsenal would push forward. They were faced with 3-on-3, and as that ball was played to Patalainen, he just stepped out and caught them offside.
It's 0-0 here at Burnden Park, and Arsenal have gone over 400 minutes without conceding a goal. The last one that they did was against Chelsea, their only defeat of the season. McGinley. Keown clears to Merson. Wright to his left, Bergkamp to his right. Ian Wright has Fairclough to beat. And Fairclough's outstretched leg certainly made contact with the ball.
And once again, another quick break from Arsenal. Merson into Wright, wants to get it back onto his right foot. This is good defending from Fairclough. Gets in a timely tackle.
It's Merson with a corner. Arsenal usually so deadly from these situations. Bold usually goes for the flick on. Cleared by Stubbs. Parler to Bergkamp. Parler again. Good drive. And only just wide from Ray Parler.
Here comes the shot. Well, it is close, isn't it? Good attempt by Parler.
Certainly was just a whisker away. Arsenal have had the better openings in the first quarter of an hour. The match still goalless. And this is Alan Thompson for Bolton. Phillips. Dixon. Merson facing a real tussle there with Thompson, and the goal kick given.
I mentioned before the game, Rob, that there's a tremendous responsibility on the middle two central midfield players of Bolton, Stubbs and Searchik, because what Bolton are trying to do is they're trying to get Lee and Thompson in wide areas. There's so much space in the centre of the midfield, because what Arsenal are doing is they're bringing Merson in narrow, and also Helder's picking the ball up in narrow areas, and every time the two Arsenal wide players have the ball, they're running at pace, and immediately they're at the Bolton back four and putting them under pressure.
So Searchik facing a real test in his first appearance in Bolton colours. Sign from Partizan Belgrade. Here comes Ian Wright again. He's being well shepherded, and it wasn't too fearsome a strike for Brannigan to have to deal with. Phillips. Patalainen in the foreground has lost his shoes. This is Searchik. McGinley, the only striker on ahead of him, as Patalainen adjusted his footwear.
Searchik there found himself in good space. I think he was rather surprised just how quickly he was closed down by Parler. Obviously a big difference between the Yugoslavian League and the English Premiership. You just don't get that much amount of time on the ball.
And that must be a slight concern for the Bolton joint managers, Roy McFarland and Colin Todd, who will have seen how slowly Savo Milosevic has adapted to the English game at Aston Villa. Milosevic being a former teammate of the Yugoslav. This is Merson.
It's a bad challenge there from Thompson on Dixon, very, very late off the ball. Mr. Cooper, I think he spotted it. Don't be surprised if in a couple of minutes, when the ball goes out of play, he takes his yellow card out. It was a bad foul.
Certainly gave an indication there to Thompson that he had clocked it, and now he's going to take the action.
There you see the tackle. Dixon lays the ball off. Thompson comes in very, very late.
Thompson protests his innocence, but it's all in vain. It's all hot air, and the yellow card is about to be shown to a player who Trevor and I saw sent off earlier this season in the England under-21 game against Portugal.
Yes, he's a very, very talented player. There aren't too many these days who play as well as he does in wide areas. He's got a terrific left foot, but he keeps showing this little bit of petulance, which lands him in trouble.
Right. And Bolton fans aren't happy about the booking of Alan Thompson, and so they're now appealing for every borderline decision with renewed vehemence. That was Parler's touch. And there's a shove there by Alan Stubbs on Ray Parler, and the referee was perfectly placed to see it. Dixon. Bergkamp. And he's won the throw off Gudni Bergson, who had his fair share of derby scraps with Arsenal in his days at Tottenham, although he didn't have Dennis Bergkamp to face in those days. Helder. Merson. And Helder's away from Thompson. Fairclough cleared. This is Dixon. Oh, and it went right through Phillips. Brannigan pounced.
Oh, really, the Arsenal midfield and Arsenal forwards are finding space at ease. And the biggest surprise is we've been playing 20 minutes, and yet Arsenal haven't found the back of the net. I really feel it's only a matter of time.
Coming to the game, it was one of those matches where you sensed that the occasion might overturn the form book. But the way the game has started, it's the form team who are in the ascendancy. Arsenal doing most of the attacking early on. It's a match, of course, this that brings together the oldest members of the top division. Arsenal with 76 years of unbroken service against the newest members, Bolton, who were promoted exactly 22 weeks ago after their playoff victory against Reading. It's not been an easy start to life for them, but they've won the decision there. A free kick given against Tony Adams. And this is where they'll probably miss Schneekers.
Mr. Cooper very well placed. Decided that Adams left his foot in there. Gets the free kick.
Schneekers would probably have had a go at hitting this one. Stubbs leaves it for Thompson, and it comes off Steve Bold. And it's a throw-in to Bolton. Phillips taking. Lee's the man in there. And Keown clears. Now Fairclough has to be careful here. Makanespi. Lee. And clearance by Bold. Sergic. Ball cannons off Martin Keown. Right, tried to leave that behind for Bergkamp. And Lee unable to get past Winterburn. Helder looking for Merson. Good positive move by Arsenal, but Merson couldn't deliver the end product that Arsenal were hoping for.
It's not a particularly good cross, but even if he'd done what he intended to do, that was to get it back into the box with his left foot. You see in the picture here that there's nobody actually there who had a chance of heading it into the net. Wright was out the box, Bergkamp was out the box.
Here's Helder. Often looks impressive running at defenders. Helder only to disappoint with a cross. And here comes Sergic for Bolton, finds Patalainen, McGinley's on ahead, and this is Alan Thompson. Phillips. Looking for McGinley. Didn't squeeze between the two defenders, it's only clear to Sergic. Well, he made quite a meal of that with Keown going back, and Keith Cooper wasn't to be hoodwinked.
Well, the Arsenal defenders are very upset with Sergic. There's only one thing on his mind, that's going to floor. You can see there Winterburn pulls out of it. No suggestion of a free kick, or certainly a penalty.
And this is where consistency should come into play, isn't it, Trevor? Because if that had been David Ellery, he would have been booked.
Well, we've seen players booked for that, and I think that certainly warranted a booking.
Stubbs. Here's Dixon. Fairclough. Clearance by Seaman against McGinley, and the flag is up against Ian Wright.
Very, very late decision by the linesman. I think he was offside, but it was certainly 2 or 3 seconds late. They brought Roy McFarlane off the bench, demonstrating with the linesman. He wasn't at all happy with it. He thought it should have been up much earlier.
And the other manager getting involved in the demonstrations as well. Bolton currently lacking Jerry Taggart from their defence. Signing from Barnsley, he's suspended at the moment. after sending off in a reserve match. McInnesby, whom they signed from Wraith and is now keeping Scott Green out of the team. Forward comes Helder, 3 against 3. Wright and Bergkamp up with Glenn Helder, wants to go it alone! And he's still to score his first goal for Arsenal, is Glenn Helder.
Yes, another positive run, 3 on 3. Bolton completely vacated the midfield, but the shot was hit with no power at all.
Now McGinley with a chance! Arsenal only too aware of the danger that McGinley can cause with a snapped effort, but Seaman took the sting out of it.
Well, he's very capable, McGinley, isn't he? The unexpected. Hooks that with his right foot. Fortunately, straight down the centre. It's an easy save for Seaman.
McGinley, the only surviving scorer from the Bolton team that beat Arsenal by 3 goals to 1 in their cup meeting. A match that went to extra time at Highbury. McGinley again, this is Stubbs. Merson. Phillips, who also played in those 2 encounters with Arsenal. Thompson, and that one's too close to Seaman, even though McGinley was again in there. Merson. Lee. Further evidence there of Arsenal's supremacy in the opening 27 minutes. They still haven't been able to make it count. Helder trying his luck on this side. Bergkamp, Helder again! He was a little closer that time to his first goal. Good save by Brannigan.
Well, that was great play, wasn't it, by the 2 Dutchmen?
Winterburn. Now Merson. Good try! It was dipping, but just over.
Excellent play from Helder, attacks Phillips, waits for Bergkamp, just plays the ball, follows the pass. Little ball from Bergkamp, and a side footer from Helder, and a tremendous save that from Brannigan. Here you see it again. This is curling inside the far post. Brannigan just gets his hand to it.
And then after that, Paul Merson also created a bit of a scare.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever going to threaten Brannigan, but worth a try. He's got it well covered.
Brannigan coming to Bolton's aid just when Helder seemed set to open his Arsenal account. A player, Glenn Helder, that Bruce Rioch hadn't come across before he began working with him at Highbury, but feels he is now settling in.
You mentioned that Helder hasn't scored. Nor has Parler, I believe. The 2 of them gone since February without a goal. So what it does mean is the importance of having Wright and Bergkamp in good goal-scoring form up front.
We're going to get the second booking of the match here. Stubbs reaching back there to restrict Helder's movement.
Here's Helder running positively. Stubbs, late challenge. It's the only way he's going to stop him. Because Helder's pace was taking him away from Stubbs. And when he goes past Stubbs, he knows that he's immediately at the back 4.
Stubbs really can have few complaints about the yellow card, although about 18,000 people here think otherwise. Merson's free kick, and here unable to get there. It's a sign of Arsenal's resources that they can afford to keep the England captain out, although they're very cautious about his return after this knee surgery and the calf strain that he subsequently picked up. Atalainen, this is Thompson. They're looking for Lee, the ball. Disappointed there, tamely giving it away to Winterburn. This is Helder. Bergson has gone with Ian Wright. And Bergson wins the verdict of the goal kick. Writer player, Trevor, I heard you saying last Monday you think might have been written off a little too early in England terms.
Yes, I think that he's been a consistent goal scorer over the last 4 years at Arsenal, top goal scorer every year. He's capable of scoring 30 goals a season. I think that he's also done it regularly with Arsenal in Europe over the 2 years. And I think that he's played, 20 times for England, scored 5 goals. And I think that if he was given another chance, he'd come up with the goods for England. He's an out-and-out goal scorer.
Few challenges raining in there, and referee Cooper unhappy about Keown's. Here's Serchik. Merson. And the ball given away to Patalainen. McGinley's waiting. And that's gone out for a goal kick. Don't forget, we've got more FA Carling Premiership action for you this Sunday. Super Sunday brings you Everton against Blackburn Rovers. Everton, who've really been struggling. Blackburn just finding their feet now, the champions, from 3 o'clock on Sky Sports on Sunday. And as you're watching tonight's action and the individuals involved in it, let me remind you that this week the verdict on man of the match is yours. And we'll be giving you the number to ring a little later. Stubbs. And Winterburn covering. Free kick given against Bergson.
Here you see the challenge. Bergson over the top of Ian Wright.
Practicing his ballet movement, I think. But nice to see a little jocularity between the former North London rivals at the end of it.
Yes, I think Ian Wright sensed it was coming. He made no attempt to head the ball.
Adams. Keown, Merson, and now Helder. 3 waiting in the middle. And Helder can't supply. Here's Lee. McInnesby, who passed up the opportunity to appear against Bayern Munich for Wraith to make the move to Burnett Park. Adams looking for Helder to give him a test once more. The quick layoff though to Bergkamp. Nice touch to right. Fair cut across quickly. Has to be said that the omens don't really favour Bolton in terms of the progress that they've made, because of the 7 clubs promoted from the playoffs since 1988, 5 have been relegated immediately the following season. Middlesbrough, Sunderland, Notts County, Swindon and Leicester all went straight back down. The only 2 who survived were Crystal Palace and Blackburn, and certainly in the case of the latter they had the resources laid on for them to survive. And that just really emphasises the task that they face here at Burnett Park to maintain their Premiership status. And it's their home games that they need to be winning if they are to have any chance at all. Stubbs now, looking for McGinley, and he's away! 1-0 to Bolton, and John McGinley has scored! And Arsenal are stunned with 10 minutes to go to half-time, because they've had most of the pressure so far, but McGinley has hit them cold.
Well, just look at the defensive bad marking here from Arsenal. I don't know what they're thinking of there. totally unlike Arsenal. It's a good pass from Stubbs. McKinley can't believe his luck finding himself in that amount of space, but it's a delightful finish. You see it again as Seaman comes out, he just lifts it over the top of him. That's a great finish. But really terrible marking from Arsenal at the back.
And Arsenal's tormentor in their previous meeting in the FA Cup works the goal magic again. John McGinley has scored, and Arsenal now with Merson try to come back quickly. But he hits that one off the target. What a moment for John McGinley, twice signed by Bruce Rioch. First for Millwall and then for Bolton. And now he may well have bitten the hand that once fed him.
Well, we spoke before the game about Arsenal having the best defensive record. Only conceded 5 goals prior to this match, 6 clean sheets. But that was schoolboy defending. It was absolutely awful.
I'm sure the manager will have some fairly strong words to say about it at half-time, as Thompson now is on the ball for Bolton. They're appealing for handball, not given. This is Parler. Dixon to Seaman. The first goal that he's conceded in 433 minutes, David Seaman. And against the team 1 place from the bottom of the Premiership. What a turn-up for the books this could be.
Well, the last free kick Arsenal had, they kept Adams and they kept Bode back. On this occasion, Bode is going forward. It's surprisingly they leave Adams back.
Adams and Dixon left back to guard against Patalainen. And that's perhaps an indication of why they should have let Adams go patrolling forward. Dixon in on the tackle well against searching. Right. Dixon. And McAnespie clears. Keogh. And again. Martin Keogh wide of the mark. At a time when he might have atoned for his part in McGinley's goal.
Here's the ball from Stubbs. McGinley inside of Keown. Lovely finish. They've got enough defenders back there.
Move from McGinley. Trying to get past Adams that time. It's certainly the ball that Stubbs laid onto him, an indication of his great distribution and one of the qualities that Arsenal, among other clubs, admire in him and why he's so highly rated. Merson looking for Dixon's run. Good cross. Turn header away by Bergson to Phillips. Looking for Patalainen, bowled up there first. There was a late whistle from the referee, but he's given the free kick against Bold. Bold's challenge on Mixu Patalainen. And the free kick was overhit. Lee couldn't keep it in play. And Bolton's attacking advantage is promptly wasted. But with just 5 minutes to go to half-time, the table turned upside down at the moment. Bolton, 19th in the Premiership, leading Arsenal, who started the day 4th, thanks to John McGinley's goal. Helder. Winterburn's cross, cleared by Thompson. Merson now for Parler. Dixon. And that one goes awry after that previous move when Winterburn got his cross in, and about 3 Arsenal players were in the same area and in each other's way.
Not be mentioned that Bolton in 19th, but they've had an incredibly tough start to the season. It's only their 11th game, but already they've played Newcastle, Manchester United, Liverpool, Blackburn and Nottingham Forest. It can only get easier, surely.
Well, they've got Manchester City next game. And that really is a crucial one for both teams. Covering by Dixon. Lee Dixon making his 350th appearance in all competitions for the club tonight. One of 3 Arsenal players achieving a personal milestone. In fact, it's also Paul Merson's 350th appearance. And it's David Seaman's 200th league appearance for the club. There's Merson. Achiever. Thompson. McGinley went for it again and couldn't get any direction on the header.
Great ball in from Thompson. Hit with tremendous pace. It only needs a touch. It's McGinley who's there first. He gets across the front of, I think it's Adams. Very, very close to getting his second goal. But I think that free kick there really showed Bolton's intentions tonight. With just 3 minutes to go before half-time, Bergson looked at the bench, had a word with Todd. The signal from Todd was to go forward for the free kick. No thoughts of what they've got, they'll hold till half-time. There's only one thing on Todd McFarlane's mind, was getting in there for the goal for the second one.
The greater the advantage, the better for Bolton. They'll feel more secure, certainly with a 2-goal lead, because they've had a habit in recent matches of conceding late goals that have seen 2 points and in some cases 3 points slip away from them. So there'll be no question of just preserving McGinley's lead. Todd and McFarlane want them to add to it.
In fact, in Colin Todd's programme notes, he says 1 goal can be unlucky, 2 may be a coincidence, but 3 is down to sheer bad play.
11-3 in their last match against Nottingham Forest, including a 90th minute winner from Colin Cooper. Here's Alan Thompson. Good run from Thompson, he's beaten Keown, and Gold had come across to close him down.
Another great run from Thompson on his left foot. Here he is, tricks Keown onto his right foot. You can see which is his best foot, can't you?
Here's Thompson again, so involved, wanting to be involved, but not everything can go right. Lee. McGinley has retreated from an offside position. Here's Thompson. Lee was calling for it. It's cleared by Keown. This is Phillips. Lee off. Breakdown in communication there between Lee and Thompson. Bergson in hard on right. Parler. Gillespie winning it from Helder. Winterburn. And the linesman appeared to be flagging for a Bolton throw, but the referee has spotted something there with Gudni Bergson. And after the linesman had flagged for a Bolton throw-in, Arsenal think they've got it. And they're promptly corrected by referee Cooper.
I don't really think Arsenal thought it was their throw-in. A little bit of kidology there, a little bit of experience coming into play, but Mr. Cooper wasn't to be fooled.
And Bold. They could have been in a bit more trouble if there'd been more manpower there from Bolton. Dixon finds Merson in a little bit of space. A clear run. And here's Helder. Set up well by Merson. And the shot deflected, and that's a fine save by Brannigan. Took a little touch on the way, the effort from Helder, but Brannigan reacted superbly.
It's once again good play from Merson. Helder comes inside rather too easily for my liking. Good save.
Bergkamp went for it, and Parler makes a real mess and doesn't get a second bite at the cherry because it's half-time. So Arsenal clearly throwing their resources forward to try and cancel out John McGinley's goal. But that effort after 35 minutes from the Bolton man clearly has turned this match on its head and could well turn the match upside down, and the firm could throw the form book out of the window. Bolton ahead, 1-0 against Arsenal at half-time. Season alone they beat Ipswich, West Ham and Norwich of the Premiership on the way to the League Cup final, which they eventually lost to Liverpool. But in the previous two seasons they'd achieved FA Cup wins over Aston Villa here, Arsenal, Everton and Liverpool away. And now Bolton, who face the big atmosphere at Verndon Park on a week-in, week-out basis in the Premiership, and have not been able to sustain their giant-killing momentum so regularly, have the perfect opportunity to do just that here tonight as the second half gets underway. And Martin Keown finds Dennis Bergkamp. No changes to either team at half-time, but Arsenal going forward with urgency. This is Helder looking for Wright. And Wright you'll always fancy as the danger man, and he's already won a corner.
Straight at the start of the second half, Helder showed his pace again, completely outstripping Macanespi. He let it across to Wright. I thought he might have had a shot.
Only Dixon and Winterburn left back. Adams has gone forward for the corner, but it's taken short. Played back by Merson to Parler. Dixon. Now Adams is forced to retreat. His presence in the opposing penalty area made it all the more surprising that Arsenal missed the ploy they did. Bergson. And immediately Bolton tamed the early second half threat. Here's Phillips. Stubbs, who set up the goal. Well won by Adams. Merson. The width is provided on the right by Helder. It's a deep cross, but nobody there for Arsenal. Lee. McGinley. And possession thrown away by Alan Stubbs. Reminds reminder to you to keep a close eye on individual performances in the second half, because later on we'll be advising you how you can vote for the man of the match in this evening's game. Winterburn's throw. Right, fell a little too easily then under Bergson's challenge. Here's Keown. Helder. Trying to work it through for Wright. And again, Fairclough was shadowing him.
Once again, a very good run from Helder, but just the final ball is lacking. Ian Wright made the run. The ball had been weighted correctly, would have been with a goal-scoring opportunity.
It's very exciting in full flow, Glenn Helder. Has had two great efforts in the match so far, both of which were prevented from going in by Keith Brannigan.
You just feel, Rob, that a player with his ability should score more goals than what he does. He made his debut back in February. I know it's 8 months ago and we had the pre-season, but you know, really he should be scoring goals.
Good turn by Wright, he's away! And he's missed! You really would have thought he'd got the equaliser then. The merest sniff of goal, and Wright couldn't convert.
Well, he was faced with a similar chance to what McGinley had. Here you see Brannigan comes out, he needs a little clip over him. He does that, but gets too much on it and it goes over the bar. But here it's a good turn from Wright, loses Bergson, and you really fancy him to score from this situation. Does everything right, but just puts a little bit too much weight on it. And the ball flies over instead of under the bar.
It was lightning reactions from Wright to turn Bergson in the first chance, when too often under Bergson's challenge Wright has fallen. Maintained his footing that time, but couldn't provide the goal that Arsenal so desperately need here. McGinley, who scored for Bolton. Patalainen, and the flag is up.
Once again, good play from McGinley, but Arsenal, they hold a good line here. The ball's actually deflected. Wow, that was tight. I mean, Winterburn's got his hand up. I'm not so sure that's offside. You know, we say if it's in line now, you've got to give it to the benefit of the striker. I think he was in line there, Patalainen.
We saw, didn't we, at White Hart Lane yesterday, that the benefit of the doubt was given to the striker, Chris Armstrong, when he scored against Newcastle. Didn't work in Bolton's favour tonight, and now a challenge that has left Lee off the field.
Well, let's see what happened here, because the crowd on this near side aren't too happy about it. Well, there's not too much wrong with that. Lee's got on the floor, but I couldn't see anything wrong.
I think he'll soon be back on. Ball over hit for Merson. And Lee brings Bolton back up to strength. Stubbs again looking to deliver for McGinley. Sergic! Great chance and a fine save from David Seaman.
And I think we're going to see another booking here, Rob. McGinley was fouled by Bode. Here you see McGinley turns Bode, runs straight into him. Referee allows play to continue. A great shot from Sergic, great save from Seaman, but Bode has gone in the book.
It was a good advantage played by referee Keith Cooper, who for the second time has only booked a player when the moment was right. But Sergic almost scoring on his debut, and a great save by Seaman to deny him. It's Thompson with a corner, and Bolton are buzzing. Patalainen comes in and couldn't keep the header down.
Well, Patalainen really attacked that cross from Thompson. Not too often you see players out-jump Adams. Here he is, he gets a good run on it. Goes in powerfully. can't direct his header downwards. Here we see the shot from Serchik, great shot. What a save that is from Seaman.
Really had to be at full stretch, the goalkeeper. Arsenal being given a taxing time, and it's Serchik again, and Patalanu's a very late flag, but he's ruled offside.
Well, Arsenal are certainly getting the benefit of the doubt at the moment. I think on this occasion he possibly was offside, but once again, great vision here from Serchik. Well, it's very tight again, isn't it?
Real question mark there as to whether Dixon might have been playing him onside. Bergkamp. Good run by Dennis Bergkamp. Merson away from Stubbs, clipping it in towards Wright. Well, Wright wanted 2 bites at the cherry. Bergson got in the way of the first, and then he fouled Brannigan.
Merson, no, it's right, just a little flick over the head of Bergson. Here he realises he can't get the ball, obstructs Brannigan. Mr. Cooper quite rightly gives the free kick for Bolton. But just going back to those 2 possible offside decisions, what is important, Rob, is that I think the players didn't realise that they were offside, and on both occasions they failed to score. Obviously, if one of them had gone in, it would have been a real talking point.
The 1 goal that counts has been scored by John McGinley. And a chance perhaps for Parler here. And Brannigan was very alive to the threat posed by the run from midfield of Ray Parler.
Well, that was excellent running off the ball from Parler. Well picked out from Merson. I thought he was just going to flick it over the keeper's head. He elects to drive it, and that gives Brannigan the opportunity to go down at his feet. If you see here, if he had just clipped it now with his right foot, Brannigan couldn't possibly have saved it.
Brave gamble by the goalkeeper. Merson for Arsenal. Here's Helder. Ken fails to deliver the ball. Stubbs in the way. Here's Thompson. Serchik in space on the right, calling for it, covered now by Winterburn. Here's Helder. Now he has delivered for Wright. But Fairclough stretching to get there.
An important tackle, wasn't it? Because Bergson and Fairclough were faced with 2-on-2 there.
This is Stubbs. Touch from Bold. And here's Dixon. Bergkamp. And Fairclough has set him up with a chance. Brought it under control. Fairclough seemed to just get a nick to the ball, but Bergkamp wasn't giving up.
Well, he was a little bit fortunate, Bergkamp, here, because his first touch is very, very poor, but he gets a second bite of the cherry. Here you see he loses possession. Fairclough flicks it on. There's an overhead kick. Quite imaginative, but lacking power.
McKinley putting the pressure on as Adams' back pass reaches Seaman. And now Bolton hold the line to catch Wright offside. Good game. And marked perhaps by those statistics. Arsenal more successful, but not in the most important statistic, which you can see in the top left of your screen. Serchik. Thompson. Phillips moves on ahead. Just beyond Patalainen.
Just a word about Serchik, making his debut in midfield. Couldn't have picked a more difficult game than playing against Arsenal, but he's done very, very well. Certainly looks a promising player. Very comfortable on the ball, neat and tidy, passes it well, likes to go forward with aggressive, direct runs. Looks a good buy for Bolton.
strength from Patalainen there. Sertic just closed down by Helder. And this is Tony Adams finding Keown. Disappointing ball from Martin Keown, adding to Ian Wright's frustration.
That's the area I feel that Arsenal are lacking at the moment. They've done extremely well considering they were 12th last year to be up in 4th place. But you do feel that they're lacking one or two players in the centre of midfield that can pass the ball. Stuart Houston looking at his watch, perhaps giving a little hint to Bruce Rioch that perhaps it's the time to introduce David Platt.
Certainly have been mulling over that. That one's overhit for Glenn Helder.
That's an example of what I'm on about, Rob. You know, a straightforward pass, hit misaccurately, goes into touch.
Lee. So could it mean a dip back into the transfer market from Bruce Rioch to find these creative midfielders?
Well, I don't think he's ever stopped looking. He's made the two very, very important purchases of Bergkamp and Platt, but he's still looking to strengthen the side.
Wright's layoff to Merson!
Well, I'm convinced the keeper saved that.
Well, so is Merson, so is Wright, and the referee is the only one who's unconvinced. But if he did, it was a great save.
Very, very well struck. Good little back heel from Wright. Knew exactly where Merson was. He didn't waste any time. Drives up with his right foot. And clearly the keeper there, Brannigan, has made a good save.
A crucial save that presumably you won't want to take the credit for. Here's Adams. Dixon. Winterburn. Looking for Helder. And he's round the back of McAnespie. Glenn Helder. And it wouldn't fall for Keown, as Bergson got in there ahead of him.
Well, it's so obvious what Winterburn was wanting to do. Uses the pace of Helder, but I'm not sure what Helder wants to do here. Well, he's obviously looking for Bergkamp.
Keown attacking the corner but not getting there. Another chance for Merson to deliver across perhaps. Once a go. Look out off Stubbs to Winterburn. Ray Parlour. Adams stays up for it. And the clearance by Stubbs has Arsenal's lone defender, Lee Dixon, watching it go for the throw. Just past the hour mark, the psychological point at which Bruce Rioch may well be contemplating this introduction of David Platt, with things not having turned around for his side in the second half. Here's Bergkamp. Right. Bergkamp again. Charged down by Stubbs. McKinley beating Winterburn. Ball from Boll to Dixon.
Just look at the room Merson's got here.
And as they aimed it for him, Fairclough quickly got in there. Now Stubbs. Patalainen was offside.
Well, what Bolton are doing is they're allowing Arsenal plenty of possession. They're going deeper and deeper, putting themselves under more and more pressure. They are at the moment, I feel, inviting pressure from Arsenal.
Bergkamp has lost out.
Because it's not easy for Bolton to play on the counter-attack because they don't have any pace up front. They're not real pace in the two front boys, McGinley and Patalainen. They do have to play balls continually into the feet of these two lads.
And it was Arsenal's counter-attacking that was really causing Colin Tock some concern when we spoke to him before the match. Parler, Helder, and Lee across quickly to concede the corner. Bold and Adams have trotted forward. Lee, Dixon and Winterburn have been left back by Arsenal. Bold goes to the near post and then instructs Bergkamp to move into that position with Adams waiting. Good punch by the goalkeeper. Helder back in there. Adams with a flick. And McAnespi's clearance. Certainly haven't been as effective from corners as usual, Arsenal. McAnespi clearing that one. Bergkamp. Parler, space for him. This is Keown, Merson. Needed a ball guided through to Ian Wright then, and Bergson well aware of their intentions.
You mentioned that the delivery isn't particularly good from corners. I just wonder if it's got anything to do with the fact that the pitch slopes away downhill. And as the players approach to strike the ball, they're always running up the hill.
Let's see if Merson's got any measure of it now. A bit more tricky for the goalkeeper. And it came off Lee last, says referee Cooper. And Merson can try his luck again. Well,
the last corner was better, wasn't it? He was aiming for near post, seems to have got his distance now in direction.
Looking for Bold, this is the usual form. It's over Adams' head, and Bolton clear. This is Dixon. Bergkamp to Merson. Merson always swinging well away from goal, that effort. Well, I hope you're enjoying 48 hours of fine football after Spurs Newcastle yesterday and this game tonight, and that you'll be with us on this Sunday from 3 o'clock. Everton against Blackburn. You can join Martin Tyler and Andy Gray at Ewood Park for full coverage of that match. At Goodison Park, sorry. Helder. It's away from McAnespi again. Bergkamp. Shot deflected. And dealt with well by Brannigan.
Well, certainly Helder is the biggest threat to Bolton. It's given McAnespi a torrid time here. Post the ball back to Bergkamp. It isn't a particularly good shot, but it takes the deflection. I think that's off Bergson. Brannigan, once again, is alive to the situation.
Made some crucial saves in this match for Bolton. Dixon. Bold. The referee looked longingly at the linesman. Did Seaman rescue the corner? He did.
Well, McGinley's calling for a corner, but I think the linesman is quite correct. I don't think all the ball was over the line.
Thompson's throw. Bit of a race, Bolton will view that.
Rob, we often talk about the great gulf in this Premiership between some of the big teams at the top and the smaller ones at the bottom. That's certainly not apparent, especially in the second half. Bolton are playing with great spirit.
But could this man soon be coming on to change all that for Arsenal? Platt has missed the last 9 games. Here's Wright, Bergkamp, and clearance by Thompson to Lee. Certainly Bergkamp and Wright have the individual flair that can always turn a match. Stubbs stifling the supply to Bergkamp then, now finds Thompson. Stubbs, Surchik. And Lee is offside.
And he'll probably get booked for that, I would have thought.
Silly thing to do.
Yes, and he was silly to get caught offside. Just needed to look along the line, didn't bother looking. He was probably 5 yards offside.
The third Bolton player to go in the book, David Lee.
You can see him, look, must be 5 yards offside.
And he follows Alan Thompson and Alan Stubbs into the book. It's David Lee. Where will an Arsenal equaliser come from, if it's to come at all here at Burnden Park tonight? Possibly this man, Wright. Bergkamp to Merson. And Dixon's away from Phillips. Chances here. Oh, he tried to pull it back for Bergkamp. Might still fall for Parler. And the shot lashed well over from Ray Parler after Dixon seemed to have got into a really promising position there.
Yes, Jimmy Phillips dives in, completely sells himself. Here he goes. Gives Dixon the freedom to tip the ball in the box. He's done the right thing, he pulls it back, but the accuracy just isn't there. Here comes the shot from Parler, first time, well over Brannigan's crossbar.
Helder. Past McAnespie, Winterburn's made a break into the box, here he is! Oh, and that was a real defender's shot from Nigel Winterburn, barely threatened the corner flag.
Well, you've got to hand it to Helder, haven't you? That's terrific play. McAnespie forces him wide where he can't shoot, but he's got great vision, lovely little back heel, and this should have been a goal. Well, Nigel Winterburn won't want to see that too often. With his swinger, his right foot, whether it's his good or his bad foot, that ball should be in the back of the net.
I'm sure he knows it. And it'll therefore be no surprise that I can tell you it's over 3 years since he scored a league goal. Helder. Parler. Well, Parler feeling confident enough to have a go from distance.
Well, he certainly had enough shots from outside the box, but nearly every shot lacks power and lacks accuracy, I'm afraid, and that's probably one of the reasons why he hasn't scored for 8 months.
Look at players who might score for Arsenal, the likes of Wright and Bergkamp. At one stage, of course, they'd have been able to call on the likes of Alan Smith. No longer available since his retirement. But he's got a testimonial match coming up on November the 9th, a benefit match against Sampdoria. I'm sure we'd like to see well supported, Trevor.
And Sampdoria are always good to watch, aren't they? Certainly play attractive football.
Now by Keogh on Surchik.
And you know, when you look at the Arsenal team, they have changed their structure a little bit, the style of play. They used to rely on the big ball and the physical presence of Smith. They used it a little bit last season at the back end with Hartson. He's on the bench tonight. So they do try and pass it a lot more into feet.
And free kick given there against Matalainen.
Well, we expected a substitution from Arsenal, but it's Bolton who are actually making one.
And it's Mark Patterson is about to come on. And Surchik sees his debut end 18 minutes from time. Promising debut, though, from the former Yugoslav international.
Very promising. I can only presume that he's lacking a little bit in fitness. Hasn't done too much training, only arrived a few days ago. So that's the reason why he's been pulled off for these last 20 minutes.
Certainly had very little time to adjust to his new surroundings before being thrown in. Here's Thompson. Patalainen beaten off the ball by Bold. Now Patterson has some important chasing back to do, but Merson can't deliver for Bergkamp. Bergson was in the way. This is Stubbs. Oh, Makanespi. Not afford to give too many opportunities to Helder. Patterson gets his touch.
That's great closing down from McGinley, really working hard at the front.
Really is belying his 31 years, John McGinley. The harrying and chasing he's doing, and now Bolton have got some chasing back to do. Wright is onside, and Bergson is there. Wright was onside but couldn't line it up for Merson and Helder, who both made the break into the box, and a corner really is of little consolation.
Well, he times his run well, doesn't he? Makanespi's playing him onside. How many times have we seen Arsenal now get in around the back of Bolton and they can't deliver that final killer pass?
Here comes the corner, Keown goes for it, heading away only as far as Dixon! And headed away by Stubbs, Winterburn. Parla. Adams reaches for it and gets there. Clearance by Bergson.
Once again, the final ball is lacking. Adams got himself into a great position.
Helder. Can't beat Makanespi this time. Winterburn's cross. And Brannigan deals with it well. 15 minutes to go, and time now to turn your thoughts to your Man of the Match award. Give us your choice on 0891 111101. Call that number now and tell us who you think is the Man of the Match, which has been the star performance here at Burnden Park this evening. Certainly been a good overall team performance by Bolton, taking this lead 10 minutes from half-time, resisting the Arsenal pressure, and there's been a fair bit of it to resist. Keith Brannigan has played a key part in keeping them at bay. Although sometimes the deliveries have frustrated the likes of Wright and Bergkamp.
Well, I'm surprised, you know, that David Platt's not been on a little bit sooner. Well, in fact, just as I speak, he's starting to take his tracksuit off. That's all that's lacking, you know, at the moment for Arsenal, is that final ball, just somebody to stick the ball in the back of the net. They've certainly got enough good situations.
Platt's return to first team action then seems imminent. Winterburn with a free kick, whole cluster of players in the box. Bold has detached himself, and Wright is going in there, and the desperate defending pays dividends. This is Dixon. Helder. Dangerous cross again, but Brannigan commanding despite Bold's run.
Well, I don't think it was a dangerous cross, Rob. I think it was a poor cross. It was far too near to Brannigan. Here you see the cross. Bold just throws Bergson off the ball. Wright goes in there. Desperate defending there from Bolton, but Stubbs whacks it clear.
Now Ferguson has put the ball into touch for a throw-in. Now Arsenal want to make their change. Martin Kieran is the man who will have to make way. And so after 9 games out through knee surgery and a subsequent calf strain, David Platt makes his first team return with 12 minutes left in which to change Arsenal's fortunes here. Phillips. Fairclough. That's a Bolton throw-in. Really will be a tremendous lift to Bolton's confidence if they can hang on here or even extend this lead ahead of a vital game at Manchester City. That's their next fixture. Flick from right there, and out comes Brannigan again. But they will be guarding against the lessons of recent times. Their last 3 league matches have seen them concede late goals. Danny Di Chio in the 89th minute, a winner for QPR. Paul Rideout, an Everton equaliser 5 minutes from time. And then that 90th minute decider from Nottingham Forest's Colin Cooper. So Bolton really are entering what has been a vulnerable period of the match for them in recent times. And they can afford no slips in concentration now. But what about extending the lead? This is Thompson, Patalainen, McGinley, and Thompson is offside.
Once again, good defending from Arsenal. Held the line well. Thompson just straight offside.
And Bolton are to make a change too. With 10 minutes left, Alan Thompson is coming off. And Scott Green, the man who lost his place to Stephen McAnespie. Orthodox position is at right back. But now, in a reshuffle, he goes onto the left side of midfield. A flick from right. Delicate clearance from McAnespie. Bold. Here's Adams. And Parler beaten to the tackle by Mark Patterson, the first substitute. Might give the other one, Green, his first touch. Patalainen closed down quickly by Adams. McAnespie in quickly. Lee. And McGinley this time is the man who strayed into an offside position. Arsenal have had dominance of possession, and if much of the recent talk about European football is true, possession being 9/10 of the law and all that, but with 9 minutes of the match left, they're still crucially trailing. Parler looking for Dixon. Stubbs on the break. And just overrun in the end. Adams. Dixon. for Platt. This is Lee Dixon. Scored some vital goals in his time in club and international level, David Platt. Merson, Bergkamp. He's lurking dangerously at the edge of the penalty area again there, Platt, but it wouldn't fall for him.
I'm disappointed with the attempt at the finish there from Bergkamp. I have to say, I expect a lot more from Dennis Bergkamp tonight. He's been in good form. 6 goals in his last 6 games. He had an outstanding chance in the first half when he didn't really go with any conviction. A cross from Ian Wright. And apart from that, it's been a little disappointing.
7 games without a goal at the start of his Arsenal career, and things seem to click into place after the 2 against Southampton. But there could be another setback for Arsenal here if Green can make the most of this. Patterson now. Lee. Header away by Bold. Helder, who always looks positive. Caught there by Alan Stubbs.
He's got to be careful, hasn't he?
He's already been booked. And it was for a challenge on Helder in the first half. Bergkamp. Now, did Wright follow through there on Phillips? He's in trouble here, is Ian Wright. Now, how much of the crowd's opinion is Keith Cooper taking notice of?
I have the feeling, Rob, that if he is booked, it means another suspension.
It's his 6th booking of the season, and Wright unhappy.
Well, he'll probably say his momentum takes him into Phillips. Definitely caught Phillips. Certainly not strongly, but the referees interpret it as a free kick, and he goes into the book.
And if he is suspended, it'll be the first donation he makes to charity for the season, which was a promise he made before the campaign started, that for every suspension he'd fine himself. Ian Wright, aware that he might be making himself £1,000 lighter. Green with the throw. Great momentum building up around Burnden Park in anticipation of only their 2nd league victory of the season, but there's still 5 minutes to hang on here. And hang on they might have to. Parler tackled by Fairclough.
Well, if Bolton do win tonight, I think they can thank the supporters, because they've been absolutely fantastic. We said that before the game that it felt like a cup tie. They certainly made it into a cup tie. The players have worked very, very hard. When they see that, supporters respond to it.
Here's Hatalainen. Patterson gets it through, and the flag is up for offside, and Hatalainen is furious.
Well, it was so late once again from the linesman, but I think he did get it right. I just can't believe how long it took him to put the flag up.
But don't forget, individual performances should be under your scrutiny tonight, because you're choosing our man of the match. And if you want to take part in that poll, give us a ring now on 0891 111101 to express your view on tonight's Carling Premiership man of the match. Shot hurled into the area by Adams, and with him absent, Bolton looking to exploit that advantage. Stubbs, though, has overhit it for Green, and Dixon covers. Bold. Here's Winterburn. Arsenal win the throw. Touch from right. This is Helder. Good run again. And Brannigan once more thwarts the Dutchman.
Well, as they held their entrance to the box, Platt was at the back post screaming for it. He elects to drive it near post. But he's done well, Brannigan. He's covered the near post.
Has to guard against Arsenal's latest corner. Taken by Merson. And Patalainen happy enough to concede another corner.
Just wondering, you know, Rob, 3 minutes to go. They're going to be piling high balls into the box now continually, whether it's a time to put Hartson on. I know there's only 3 minutes remaining, but he's 6'2". There's going to be a lot of big balls goes in there.
Here comes Merson's latest. Bergkamp goes in and flashed across the face.
Here's the cross, out swinger from Merson. Here comes the header from Bergkamp. It's well wide.
A great build-up of atmosphere now around Burnden Park. It's a home they may be sacrificing in the interests of progress. But you can't beat the atmosphere in here. Here's Platt. Good run by David Platt. Right. Well, it took a deflection and would have been rolling for a corner, but Wright wanted to keep the ball rolling, and in the end tamely gave it back to Brannigan.
Good positive play from Platt, wasn't it? Comes on his right foot, shapes to shoot, Selsberg's in the dummy, hits him with his right foot, it's deflected by Patterson, and Wright can't get the turn on it.
Little flick on by Patalainen, and Bold there having to police McGinley. 1 minute left. Are Bolton going to do what they failed to do in their last 3 league matches and hang on for 3 points here? Bit of a tussle off the ball between Dixon and Patterson, but forward come Bolton with Green, and Patalainen's in the box if he can find him. It's a tepid cross, but at least it wins a corner.
Yes, and there'll be no hurry to take this. Good play from Green. Worked a nice little 1-2 with McGinley. They've won themselves a corner, but more important than that, they've won themselves a little bit of time.
Well, they're defending against the corner, and Tony Adams has pulled right out to the halfway line. Arsenal clearly want to get it forward as quickly as they can. And Dixon has given away a throw-in. More chance for Bolton to run the clock down. Adams still well out of the area, of the defensive area he normally occupies. Into stoppage time we go. Still Arsenal can't feed their front men.
All he's got to do is just keep it in that corner. He doesn't need to cross it. Doesn't want it in Seaman's hand. Just keep it there. Better than that, he wins himself a free kick.
Well, they're trying to grind Arsenal down, and tempers are frayed between Adams and McGinley. It's a ploy Arsenal themselves wouldn't mind using if they were in this position. But the boot is very much on the other foot here. And the free kick is played short, and Bolton play the possession game, not for long. They've got the victory that they were holding out for, and John McGinley's goal has won for Bolton only their 2nd league victory of the season. And it's no surprise that the fans are jubilant, because not only is it a rare league win in a troubled start to the campaign, but it's against the man who left Burnden Park